name is Elisa Schneider, and I am the current chair of the board for Elevate Pregnancy and Family Resource Center. Thank you for tuning in to our Evening for Life event, which is being brought to you online due to COVID. On behalf of our board of directors, I, along with Kelly Gully, John Lavick, Carla Koenig, Melaine Michaelbust, Marv Solner, Dr. Robert Stocker, and Stacy Van Batavia, thank you for joining us. It was early in March when I think we can all agree that our lives as we knew them changed quickly beyond anything we might have imagined. I would like to invite you to be still and listen to this poem by Laura Kelly Fanucci, a wife, mother, and writer who in the wee early morning hours wrote down these words. When this is over, March 17th, 2020. When this is over, may we never again take for granted a handshake with a stranger, full shelves at the store, conversation with a neighbor, a crowded theater, Friday night out, the taste of communion, a routine checkup, the school rush each morning, coffee with a friend, the stadium roaring, each deep breath, a boring Tuesday, life itself. When this ends, may we find that we have become more like the people we wanted to be, we were called to be, we hope to be, and may we stay that way, better for each other because of the worst. There is so much on our minds right now with the pandemic looming in our midst. And as this poem by Laura Fanucci reminds us, may we find that we have become more like the people we wanted to be, we were called to be, we hope to be, and may we stay that way, better for each other because of the worst. These words apply to each one of us. And as we who love Elevate Pregnancy and Family Resource Center know, we need each other. We rely on each other's gifts, sorrows, joys, because within our humanity, we are all affected. Today, we are embarking on a new way of asking you to support our mission. Elevate Pregnancy and Family Resource Center is a Christian-based organization providing education, mentoring, support services, and referrals to anyone affected by our unintended crisis pregnancy, to educate, encourage, and empower and affirm life, and to help moms and families reach their potential. For the past 6 years, as a member of the board of directors, I have had the privilege of working with many devoted pro-life community members. Together, we have experienced many challenges, changes, and yet our clients are still reaching out to us for the services we provide. Elevate continues to look to you for your generosity in continuing the work we set out to do, to provide those in a crisis pregnancy with the education, empowerment, and support they need to rise above the culture that tells them they are not enough. Bringing a new life into the world is the greatest gift one can make. Through our support and programs, we are in a position to help elevate all those who feel broken, lost, alone, frightened, weary, to become more like the people they want to be, were called to be, hope to be, and stay that way, that we may be better for each other because of what one time may have seemed like the worst. I urge you to consider what it is that you want to be remembered for during these turbulent times. Have you stretched yourself to be more like the person you always wanted to be, where you were called to be? Now is the opportunity to give of yourself, however that makes the most sense for you. Can you give time by sharing your natural gifts, getting involved where you may have otherwise thought you had nothing to offer? Can you donate financially to Elevate? Can you elevate that gift to a higher level? Can you serve our community through supporting the services provided by Elevate to contacts you have? Share our mission, spread our mission, love our mission. 2020. The year that no one will ever forget, because this is the year we make the best out of the worst. God bless you and your family and friends with an abundance of goodness, which all of us at Elevate see by your generosity and support.
Hi, I'm Sue Lynn Williams, the Executive Director for Elevate Pregnancy and Family Resource Center. And today I'm here with Rachel, a former client of ours.
I wasn't prepared to be pregnant, and neither was my child's father. At first I was really scared because it wasn't something that I wanted. I knew I wanted to be a mom because I just love the idea of having kids, but I knew that that wasn't the right time. And so I was torn between, I don't want to be in this situation, but this is something that I want. And so I knew I wanted to keep the baby regardless, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. So I was kind of introduced to Elevate by my nurse from my nurse family partnership program. And she said, I know that you don't have a lot of money. I know that you kind of need some resources. So she pointed me in this direction. So I started meeting with you guys and just helped me have support and have someone to listen to for just the things that were going on in my life.
What were some of the crisis issues that you were going through?
Just having the resources that I need to put food on the table and to pay my bills, and not being able to have someone to talk to was one of the biggest things. And so just navigating the day-to-day things of life was really difficult because I knew that I wanted to be a good mom, but I didn't know how to do it with the situation I was in. As I didn't have a lot of money and I didn't, I only had a part-time job at the time.
How would you describe your relationship and the support that you had and the people in your life?
The father of my child was very manipulative, and he saw the pregnancy as an opportunity to keep me in the relationship because I was searching for a way out. He was always checking my phone, always wondering where I was, and if I didn't respond within minutes, he would call me. And it got to the point once Georgia was born, he had to go with me to every appointment, everywhere that I went. He would show up at my job to make sure I was there. Even though I wasn't doing anything to raise suspicion, I was just going to work and being a mom and doing what I needed to do. He was so suspicious of everything that I was doing and every person I was talking to. I think for a long time I pretended I felt safe because I wanted to pretend that everything was fine. But when I finally realized that this situation was scary and I didn't want to be in it, I realized how unsafe it was because he would get aggressive towards me and my support system. And so my family was concerned for me at the time, and they supported me in a lot of ways. And I'm really lucky to have the family that I do because I know a lot of people don't have that. But my family could only help me so much because my sister was going through a similar situation as well. So a lot of their supportive resources were going to her. And so I really had to find a support system that I could rely on. And so coming to Elevate really helped me get the resources that I need and find resources in the community to help me and my child to get out of that situation.
Or share a little bit about where you were then and where you are today and what your life looks like today.
Back when things were at the worst point, when I was just leaving my child's father, I was very lost, and I felt discouraged and hopeless, and I felt like life would never get better. And that even though I was doing this difficult thing and relying on my support system and the resources, it still felt so hard and so hopeless. But that was even a little over a year ago, and my life has completely changed since then. And I've never been so happy, and I didn't think things would get this much better, but they have. It's just amazing that you can just be anybody and you can do amazing things just if you believe in yourself and you rely on the people around you.
What would you say to the people in our community that support our mission, that give of their time, talent, and resources?
I just think that all the support and the donations that they give, it means a lot to people like me and people in my situation. And Elevate changed my life and changed my daughter's life. And hi, Georgia. I wouldn't be where I am today, neither would Georgia, if it wasn't for the help that I got from all of you. And every little thing that you do, every minute that you volunteer, and every little item that you donate, and every dollar that you donate, it goes a long ways and makes a huge impact on the lives of me and the other people in my situation.
You just heard a little bit of Rachel's story. I remember specifically when Rachel first started with our program. She was broken. She was hopeless, like she said in that video. She was scared. She had some support, but she needed help on moving forward. She was in a really bad situation. We don't always realize how prevalent abuse and trauma and things like that are when it comes to crisis pregnancy. And that was Rachel. To see her grow into the woman, the young woman that she is today, is why we do what we do at Elevate. It's what your money and your time and your resources do. To see her have a life for her in Georgia today, and she has a great job, she has a great family, she has the support that she needs. She continues to move forward every single day, and that's truly one of the things that we envision for clients at Elevate. Next, we're going to hear from Sarah and Jeff, and they've been a part of our program for many years, especially on the heart level, working directly with our moms and dads. Because of people like them, they strengthen our program and really help elevate our clients to the next level.
Hi, I'm Sarah Anderson.
I'm Jeff Anderson.
And we got started with Elevate about 4 or 5 years ago. 10 years prior, I had been at an open house and knew that I wanted to be involved. At that time, it was Birthline, and it had always just been on my heart. And when Jeff and I got married, we talked about it and just kind of knew it was just in the back of our minds for many years. And finally, about 4 or 5 years ago, we said we need to do some classes there. We need to teach some classes together.
We taught classes together and individually. We started out teaching together classes. We did one on wisdom in relationships, and then the other class was a dad's class. The dad's class is just really important to me because, well, I'm a dad and I love my kids. I know that it's just something, it's the greatest gift I have in my life is to be a dad. I've also worked with kids that have had lots of trouble, and they needed a dad. And that's the one thing over all the kids that I've worked with that have had trouble in life. They just haven't had a dad or a male role model. And I just want the guys that are in situations that this is catching them off guard to know that they can be a dad and they can do it well. One of the kids that I taught, he was in trouble, and I just told him that I cared about him and just let him know that regardless of how dumb a mistake you make in life, I'll still be your friend. He ended up going to prison for some of his choices, but he reached out to me in prison saying, "Hey, Jeff, thank you for being the one that I always know that you're going to be there. You're always going to be my friend. Even when I'm here in prison, I knew that I could contact you and that you would just be there for me." And you know, he had that life, but now he's turning his life around. He's a dad. His kids are his priority, and you know, he's making the right choices.
Well, it does seem like a lot of people just struggle with relationships, and it's not always with a significant other. A lot of times it's with friends or family, and just helping people to identify what a healthy relationship is versus one that can be very toxic, because especially when you're pregnant and stress is going to affect not only you, but your baby. You want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with good people who speak positively into your life and give you wisdom. And that's kind of a common thing that we see. There is a lot of people are not even sure how to identify what a toxic relationship is. And the light bulb goes on of, wow, like I guess I just had this person there because I thought I was supposed to or felt obligated. But yeah, I can see how my life maybe is going, it's negatively impacted because of it. And just helping them to be able to identify that and then figure out how to make the changes.
The process, yeah. The process is huge. Once they understand that, okay, I can be a dad and fail and still love my kid. I can also be a husband that fails that still loves my wife.
I mean, we talked about it for a while before we actually started doing it and didn't even know what it was going to look like. Tried to kind of brainstorm on how can we help? What do we even have to offer? But taking that first step, getting into a classroom and just meeting people, it's just people. I mean, yeah, you have a curriculum and a lesson, but just being able to get in that class and then have the dialogue back and forth with them. Once that happens, you realize, yep, I do have something to contribute here. And to someone that is maybe feeling like, yeah, I might want to try it, but I just don't know what I have to offer. You do have something to offer. Every person has a unique story and something to say, and take that step and try it out, and you'll realize that you've got wisdom to share.
Next, you'll hear from one of our community partners. CentraCare and Elevate have been working together to refer patients and clients for each other's services for many years. It's because of CentraCare and other community partners that we can do what we do in helping pregnant women and families in need in our community.
Hi, I'm David Walls, Senior Director of Women's and Newborn Health at CentraCare.
And I'm Jane Suska. I'm a recently retired women's health nurse practitioner at CentraCare OBGYN. And recently I had the opportunity to volunteer as a client mentor at Elevate.
Fortunately, Sue Lynn Williams and myself started roughly at the same time, May of 2018. And we received a call from Dr. Bob Stocker, his commitment to birthline and the patients in need of high-risk pregnancies, noting that the majority of those same patients were clients at Birthline, now Elevate, as well as CentraCare, and how we could potentially partner better with each other.
From my standpoint, as a women's health nurse practitioner, I often saw the trauma and the needs of pregnant women in our community and their families as well. When I retired, I was looking for something else that I could continue doing with especially high-risk pregnancies, and that's how I got involved with Elevate. These women come in with needs that we oftentimes take for granted that are being met. They have safety needs, they have histories of trauma, they have safety issues, they're abandoned, and they get paired up with a mentor who helps them elevate themselves from the current situation that they're in. The pregnant women who are going through crisis pregnancies are children of God. We need to see Christ in everyone. And when they come into Elevate, they are accepted as Christ would accept them. And so not only do they get help with finances, help with housing, additional help with prenatal education, they also get help with healing. And I learned that they appreciated it very much.
Yeah, these are the same patients that we're serving as well as Elevate are serving. And so, we made a commitment to each other when we had that first conversation. 3 L's come to mind when I think about this community partnership. 1, we learn from each other. Secondly, we listen to each other. And thirdly, we lead our organizations to help mothers in need in high-risk pregnancies. This is another great example of community partnerships that CentraCare wants to have to provide high quality of care, appropriate care, and cohesive care.
Elevate and CentraCare have had a long-standing relationship. Elevate started out as Birthright in an office at the St. Cloud Hospital. We've been complementing each other's services for many years. The sisterhood that is provided at Elevate, knowing that there are people who love you and want you to succeed, and they have the tools to help you along the way. So CentraCare and Elevate together really complement each other in helping these women in our community.
Thanks to our community partners like Dave and Jane, we can do what we do, and we're very thankful for the relationship that we have with them. Next, you're going to hear from Anne, our HEART coordinator. HEART stands for Health Education and Relationship Training, and it's our proactive approach to reach youth.
Hello, my name is Anne, and I am a HEART speaker. I'm so excited you have joined us tonight. First off, I would like to thank you for your generous support of Elevate. Because of donors like you, we are able to reach many people and empower and educate them. It truly is a gift to share the HEART program with young people, and I wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for you. I'd like to tell you more about what HEART is. HEART is one of the programs we offer at Elevate to help our youth become a better version of themselves. and understand what a healthy relationship should look like and sound like. This program allows both middle school and high school students within school and church settings to hear and learn more about healthy relationships, hence the acronym HEART, which stands for Health Education and Relationship Training. Throughout our program, we touch on many topics. Here are some of the topics we discuss. What is peer pressure, and does that affect one's choices? What is self-worth and self-value? The characteristics one would look for in another person that upholds one's values, standards, beliefs, and dreams. Love versus infatuation, and the difference between the two. The 5 emotional steps of intimacy and the 5 physical steps of intimacy. Potential physical and emotional outcomes of being sexually active. The difference between sexual risk reduction and sexual risk avoidance. The harmful effects of pornography on the brain, body, and within relationships. And how to set goals, and how one can still reach those goals even if there is an unplanned pregnancy. This year, the HEART program looks different since we are not able to go into schools. We have come up with a few different ways to still get our message and program shared. One way is by sending recorded videos of our presentation to teachers and having students view these online. Another way is by doing live stream presentations, which allows for more interaction between the students and the speaker. Lastly, we are planning on being in person at the churches we present at. So even though it looks different this year, we still have the amazing opportunity to share this information with our youth. My passion has always been to educate and help others. By sharing the HEART program in schools and churches, I'm able to share information as well as personal stories in regards to healthy relationships. This allows the students to then take what is presented and apply it to their own circumstances. Giving them more knowledge empowers them to decide what they want in their current and/or future romantic relationships. It also encourages them to know that being in a relationship that is hurtful or unkind is not something that is healthy. With this, the program is empowering students that have grown up in unhealthy situations to know that there is another way, a healthier way, to approach relationships. In conclusion, HEART encompasses our mission, which is to educate, encourage, and empower. And we have the opportunity to do this with hundreds of youth through this program. If we did not have the financial support of donors like you, this unique and most often unheard message of what healthy relationships should look like and sound like would not make it into our schools and churches. So thank you. Thank you for sharing your gifts with us so we can reach hundreds of young people. Enjoy your evening.
Thanks to Anne for sharing her passion for our youth through our HEART program. Next, you're going to hear a little bit of Renee's story. Renee has been a huge supporter and volunteer of Elevate for many years. It's people like Renee that have a personal story and passion for Elevate and our mission.
Hi, my name's Renee Anderson. I've been involved with the former Birthline for several years, including being involved with their board of directors, and now Elevate. And I can't tell you how happy I am to be involved with that organization. I guess it's kind of personal for me. This past May, I got an email that said, "Hi, my name is Christopher Henderson. I'm your biological son." Sorry. I'm reaching out to let you know how grateful I am to you. I have a wife who loves me very much, and life is good. I want you to know I'm happy. This is something I've prayed about for the last 37 years, wondering how my son, who I gave up for adoption, is doing. And you never know. I gave him away to another family. I never knew what they named him. I never knew where exactly he lived. And, you know, I was 19 years old at the time, and I would have given anything for an organization like Elevate to help me through that time. I was on my own, And I used an agency and a doctor and things, but I knew that I wanted to give this baby up for adoption. And that was not an easy choice at 19. The pressure to abort was there, and I just knew deep down inside, I don't know how people can do that. I just don't know how someone could do that. And it wasn't my right to do that. It was my doing of getting pregnant with this baby. And I needed to see it through and make sure that he had a chance at life. So to get that email in May, this past May of 2020, that he's alive and he's well, like I said, this is something that I've prayed for. Just wondering, and I started really praying a couple years ago for just a sign that he's okay. I mean, I know that someday I'll see him in my eternal life, but I just wondered, is he okay? And he is okay. And I got to meet him this past June, and it's just life-changing. And I'm really grateful for the work that Elevate does with young people who are in these types of situations, especially talking to kids in schools about relationships and making choices, and their ability to counsel and work with people who are pregnant and don't really know what to do. I would have given anything for an organization like that at the time. You know, my involvement with Elevate and being on the board, it's a very efficient, fiscally run organization. They run lean and mean, and it takes every dollar that we all have to keep the organization running and for them to be able to do their work. So consider, if you will, tonight, giving something to help support this important organization of protecting the lives of newborn babies.
Being pro-life requires action, and the action that we're asking you to take tonight is to pray about giving your best financial gift toward our pro-life mission at Elevate. So click on the link on your screen and give now. And now you're going to hear from Dr. Stocker. He and his wife, Dr. Matuska, have been strong advocates for life and Elevate in our mission for many years.
Hi, my name is Bob Stocker, and I've been an obstetrician in St. Cloud for the past 30 years, along with my wife, Dr. Kathy Matuska. And during that entire time, we've been involved with Birthline, now Elevate, and it's been really a privilege. There's been a lot of changes. When we first came into town, probably 1991, we had been housed right by the hospital in the River House, and that's where we would see patients. And now we're in the Crossroads Mall, which is just a beautiful place, and that's exciting. You know, I want to talk about some of the changes that we've made, and one of the biggest changes was, you know, we're serving at Elevate a very particular need, and it's very person intense. And then we have the medical side of these very high-risk pregnancies, and that's over at the Centricare Clinic Women and Children's. What we've done in the last year is we've put them together with the social worker over at the clinic, and then it carries into labor and delivery. And I want to personally thank Dave Walls. I think you're going to hear from him today. Dave's the director of Women and Children's, and Melissa Lane, she runs the labor and delivery unit, Stacia Anderson, who'd been the physician director, and Sue Lynn. And we were able to bring this and make it seamless, and that has been really a step forward in the care of these really challenging pregnancies. I have been, you know, in the past 30 years, probably a couple thousand women have been served here with Elevate. And these are women that courageously are keeping these pregnancies. A lot of them have thought about termination. They didn't, and they need help. And these are women from really challenging backgrounds. They've often been abused. There's drug use. There's enormous financial challenges, and I can't say enough about what Birthline has done in helping these women, the impact it's made on these women. And I want to talk about the women who, and it's all women, who work at Birthline. It's just it's a remarkable thing to have watched it over the past 30 years. Their dedication, it is mission work, and it's God-driven. And I'm very, very blessed to have been part of it and to have witnessed that. I've been on the board of Elevate for the past 6 years, and that's been a real honor, and that I can be involved in some of the real positive changes that we've had. We have a new director for the past 2 years, Sue Lynn, and that's just been terrific. There's about 2,700 centers like we have in St. Cloud around the country, about 2,700, and that are pro-life. And it probably is somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 million women last year alone were served by these entities like we have. And that's probably over $280 million, and all of it's for free. It's such an impact in the lives of these women. So lastly, what I want to talk about is the Evening for Life. This is, I think, the 29th year. The first Evening for Life was in 1991. It's COVID, and I wish we could be, in person like last year, but it's what we've got. And about half of our budget comes from Evening for Life. And we had this moniker at Centricare: no money and no mission. And your guys' support has just been critical. We couldn't do business without it. And your prayers. And so, do what you can, and we really appreciate it. Keep the prayers coming. Keep it coming.
Thank you, Dr. Stocker. Like he said, no money, no mission. If you haven't given yet, now is the time. Click on the link on the screen and give your best financial gift. Thank you for joining us tonight and for supporting Elevate and all the pregnant women and families that need your help. A part of the reason why I'm so passionate and love what we do is because I have my own personal story of being a teenage mom and going through some really hard times similar to our clients. And I know that your help, your financial gifts make a difference. I've truly lived it personally, and I see it every day. I see the lives that are changed, the lives that are transformed. I see women and families come in with the brokenness and the hopelessness that I once had, and I see them empowered and educated and encouraged and elevated in a way that only can affirm life. I'm so thankful to God for the hope and healing that He's given me and my sons. And I know without a doubt what your money and your time and gifts and resources do. And I can honestly say that being a parent and supporting life is one of the most beautiful things that you can do.